to our cross stitch channel, Stitching a Little. In today's video, we're going to be showing you my mom's WIP updates. She's been able to advance quite a lot in her projects, and you're going to see some new projects. So if you like these type of WIP updates that we do here on our Flosstube, feel free to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell. That way YouTube will notify you every time that we upload a new video. Okay, without further ado, let's get started. So this is going to be the first WIP update, and this one is actually Anne of Green Gables. We came to know this story by the Netflix series, and we believe that they already removed it from the platform, but that's where we originally found out about this classic story. They called it in the Netflix series Anne with an E, and this is how much she's been able to stitch. You're going to be seeing the photo or the picture of the original design here on the screen. It's one of the soda designs, and we've spoken about the collection of the sodas here on our channel. My mom, I'll be inserting a picture of the one that she finished, which was the one of Beauty and the Beast. And since she finished Beauty and the Beast, she currently picked up a new one of the same collection of the sodas in the square type of collection. So it will be this one of Anne of Green Gables, and it's absolutely stunning. The color palette, the sodas pick a very nice color scheme for each of their designs. I love how it's turning out. She's doing a great job with this one. She already did the back stitch, and she's advancing very fast. So this is the color palette. It brings a total of 26 colors. As you can see, there is a lot of variety in this color palette. You have all the colors of the rainbow and in different tones. So that is essentially your answer to why it looks so beautiful. Once again, the soda designs are very nice. So if you haven't stitched any of them, we highly recommend that you try, because they're very good to stitch with. And this is a kit that we bought from AliExpress. The flosses are CXC, which, like we mentioned before, they're basically a cheaper or a dupe for the DMC, but they're very good to stitch with. We haven't had any problems with them whatsoever. And once again, this is Anne of Green Gables. Now let's move on to her next WIP update. So her next WIP update is going to be the tiger. This one is called White Tiger from Design Works. It's in a 14 count Aida, and you can tell that the background or the fabric is in black. This is the only design that she's been stitching in black the first time. It measures 12 by 18 inches. Once again, the brand is Design Works. We got this one on Hobby Lobby. As you can see, this is how she's been stitching. She started from this corner below, and you can tell that what she did to be able to see each of the 10 squares, each of the squares of the fabric, is that in neon thread, she basically just threaded what would be each 10 squares. We are looking at a different method to be able to see where you're stitching, because since it is in black fabric, it needs to be something that stands out. If you have any tips for this, feel free to let us know down below in the comment section. We'd be glad to know how it is that you mark your fabric when it's the case that you're stitching in black fabric, which is a little bit more complicated in that sense. But this is absolutely beautiful. I love the design itself. It's a white tiger. It's very majestic, and those blue eyes stand out. It's super nice. It's very beautiful. Now let's move on to her next project. Okay, so for this one, which is the polar bears, you're going to be seeing here on the screen what is that she had stitched before, or basically the last WIP update, how much she had been stitching. Once again, this one is from the brand Pana, and it measures 18 by 27 centimeters, what would be 7 by 10.5 inches. And it represents motherhood very well. It's a beautiful design. And look how much she's been able to stitch. She almost has it complete. She's basically only missing what would be the cub or the baby polar bear and a little bit here of blue, and that's all. She'll have it done, and I can bet that for her next WIP update she will have this one finished. She's been loving stitching this one, and basically once she's done with the crosses that she needs over here with the stitches, she'll only be doing the back stitch and the French knots that it has here around the rocks, around the ice, and that would be all. And she'll be done with this design. It's so gorgeous. It's very sweet, especially if you have a baby, a son, a daughter, a niece, a nephew, any little one in your family. And we love this design, and she stitched it very well. She hasn't had any problems. Once again, the majority of the colors she's used, it's those blue colors, except for what would be the polar bears themselves. But if you don't mind stitching the same amount of color, you can see that although it is the same color, it does have different, it does scale, so from darker to light, different tones here in the rocks to give it more dimension. It's a beautiful design, and hopefully by her next WIP update she'll have it finished. Now let's move on to the next WIP update. Okay, so for the next WIP update, you actually haven't seen this one in the channel, or if you have, you've seen it bought but not started. So this is actually in a stamped fabric. This one is from the brand Joy Sunday over on AliExpress. It is in a 14 count Aida, and it measures 34 by 38 centimeters. It's called Inside the Window, and I believe that this is a basically like a replica of the dimensions. But although it is a replica, it's turning out beautiful. As you can see, it is in stamped fabric. I can tell you that she has had a lot of willpower. She started from this bottom corner, and she started going all the way up. Then she went a little bit to the side, then all the way down here, over here, and now is that she started the cat. So she's left basically the best for last, and that takes a lot of willpower. I personally would have started from the center, from the animals themselves, but she decided to get all the boring stuff, which is not boring because it's very beautiful to see the wood in the design, and leave the most fun part, as you can say, which is the cat and the dog, for last. And as you can see, she's been able to stitch the majority of the project, and this is basically like an extra project that she has when she has any free time, maybe 20 minutes of lunchtime. That's when she gets this project and stitches it a little bit. And using that method, stitching only on her free time, this is how much she's been able to stitch, which is quite a lot. This one has a total of 28 colors in total. Alright, now let's move on to her next WIP update. So for her next WIP update, it's actually a Riolis, and this one is the cats, the feline family, which is basically a set for the one that I'm doing, which is the Cannon family of the dogs. This one of the cats measures 40 by 30 centimeters, what would be an approximate of 15 by 11 inches. And it is in wool thread. The fabric is that rustic color and 14 count Aida. As you can see, she started from this bottom right corner, which is where the mother cat is. And you can see that she does have a big portion of the pillow already done, including the little pom-pom, as you can see over here. And the quality, you can tell that it's very good. You can see that it is there. Personally, stitching in wool thread, like my mom has stated, she does love stitching on this type of thread, and I personally love stitching on wool thread also. It is a very good experience, and I can tell that the crosses even look a little bit more together with less spaces. It looks much better. So if you haven't ever stitched in wool thread, we recommend that you give it a try, because you never know if you might like it. We personally really like stitching in wool thread. So this is how much she's done of the cats, the feline family, and we absolutely love these projects. Alright, let's move on to her next WIP update. Alright, next we have the cow of dimensions. This one is called Sweet Cow, and it measures 12 by 12 inches. And with this one, it came in a kit, and it does give you the option that if you want to, you can add the flowers on top of the floral crown on top of the cow, or you can just have it like so. Okay, so as you can see, this is how much she's stitched, and we have our own method of parking threads. It's what best works for us. I know it's not the traditional method, but this is how we like to park the threads when we do so. So this is how much she's stitched. This one is in a 14 count Aida, and I believe that this is the fabric that it came with. You can tell that the dimension is there, hence the name. Keep in mind that she doesn't have the back stitch yet. She might leave that for the end, but when she's done with the project itself, she'll leave the back stitch for the end. She does have a little bit on this eye though, but you can tell that here, for example, these blue colors that it has in the face of the cow, in the head of the cow, it goes in a gradient from blue to white. It does add a lot of more detail and more dimension to the project. It's so beautiful, and we can't wait to have this one see how much she'll progress further on. But this is one of her favorites that she's currently working on. Now let's move on to the next project. Okay, lastly is the stocking, and for the stocking we did want to show you also the buttons. So these are the buttons of Stony Creek, which is the brand of the designer of the stocking that we're currently working on, that she's working on. These are the buttons that we had to buy for the stocking. It brings a house, 2 mittens, 1 carrot as the nose, and it brings the buttons. You'll be seeing pictures here on the screen. You can see the gradients of the floss over here. Now, something that we wanted to let you know about is that this stocking, we won't be finishing it until late this year. So for the next Christmas season, she won't be finishing this stocking till then. Why? Reason being, because we wanted to make this one for my grandmother. So since she wasn't able to come and live home with us, she lives in a different country. Hopefully we'll have her home by this year, and this stocking will be for her. So we won't be finishing it. My mom won't be finishing it for her until she's here. Sadly, we don't have her here with us, so that is the reason why she didn't finish this one. But hopefully for the next Christmas season, we'll finally be all together. We'll finally be all together and be able to hang the 3 stockings for the holidays.
Together, yeah.
And as you saw, that was all for today's video. All of the WIP updates that my mom has for the projects that she's currently working on or that she has been working on. We hope that you enjoyed, and if you have any questions about a specific project, any measurements, or any details that we didn't mention, you can feel free to let us know. You can ask us, and we will be more than glad to reply to any of your concerns. Thank you once again for joining our Flosstube community. We love to have you here, and if you're new to the channel, this is a cross stitch channel. It's named Stitching a Little, and we're a mother and daughter. We also make project bags. You can follow us on Instagram. Over there we talk a lot more about cross stitch, and we like to share every time that we go to the store and see the cross stitch supplies. So we share a little bit more over there also. You can feel free to follow us. It's also named Stitching a Little. And that will be all for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!